Disclaimer, buckle up. This episode of Three Friends and All the Things is packed with foul language, inappropriate comments, and even some streaking. If that's your jam, then welcome to the circus. Let the shenanigans begin.
Here's the bloody intro. Welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast, where the hosts are just here to make each other laugh. And now, here are Chris, Gia, and Jay. Three Friends and All the Things podcast. Real talk for real people.
And welcome to the covered edition of Three Friends podcast. Gia's on vacation. So we're going to take this time and we're going to talk about all things in the news. Okay. So let's start off. It's going to be like rapid fire. Okay. I'm going to say something. Okay. And then you're going to give me your opinion. Okay. Now,
I would like to let everybody know that I do not know exactly what we are talking about. So my reactions will be real because Jay has not told me any of the content we are discussing.
Correct. Okay, so we're going to back up. We're going to cover probably about 2-3 weeks worth of news. We're going to do it quick. All right, you ready?
Okay.
First of all, by the way, we hope everybody is well, safe, and adjusted to whatever change you have going on in your life.
Hope everybody had a safe holiday.
You were supposed to be quiet. I was going to put inspirational music on. It's okay. All right. So first off, we're going to talk advertising, right? Because Chris, I know you're a boss lady. You've done some advertising. Sydney Sweeney in jeans. Go.
I honestly know absolutely nothing except there is some sort of controversy with the ads that she did.
Yes. So she did a couple of jeans ads like the old days. I want you to think back in the 80s when we were cool. Okay, before we were not cool. And the Guess jeans ads where the girls came out in bras or they had the hand bras on. It was basically that, except she had a shirt and jean jacket on. And that was offensive.
I don't understand how, because
blonde hair, blue eyes, master race. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's offensive to the people out there. I do not find it offensive, not only as a male, and I do have glitchiness towards blondes. Let's just all put that out there. I think the listeners need to know that I get glitchy around blondes, man. They scare the shit out of me. But Sydney Sweeney, perfect ad. And apparently the people thought it was not a good ad. It was racist. They felt as though it was they needed to show more normal size people. But you go back, I think it was like a year or two, and Beyonce did the same type of ad for the same jean company.
Wasn't it Brooke Shields who did the Jordache?
She did originally did Jordache. Her and Marky Mark, now known as
Calvin
Mark
Klein.
Wahlberg. Yep, Calvin Klein.
But didn't Brooke Shields do the whole arms?
It was
crossed
Brooke
over
Shields
she was topless,
right? And Sidney Crawford.
Okay, but that was okay back then. But I don't understand if a top and a jean jacket is offensive. But okay,
because everything is offensive today. Okay.
True.
You have you have to pick a side. Common sense doesn't matter. Okay, next advertising. Ready? Cracker Barrel.
I'm a little disturbed. I will say I do not like the new logo. I think it's too plain. And I'm all for lightening the place up on the interior, but Cracker Barrel is known for all of its old antique-y stuff. With the what is it? The trellis, the wall thing, right?
Yep.
So I don't know if they're planning on taking that out. I know that they're planning on lightening up, changing the lamps and putting lighter color paint to brighten the place. I'm all for that, but leave Cracker Barrel the way it is because that's what it's always been known for. That is what it's been known for. And I think the new
chicken fried steak.
Their food is amazing. Their food is amazing. Don't change anything. Don't change. Leave well enough alone.
So here's an update on that, right? So first of all, you walk into Cracker Barrel, okay, and you walk into a country antique store. I believe it's actually called Countryside Store from
their store is amazing.
Right, it's amazing.
I forgot how cool it was. Yeah,
but a lot of old ladies go there.
So cool.
Yep, and yourself. Yep, go there shopping.
But I'm not an old lady. Side note.
Again, in the 80s, we were cool. With that being said, So Cracker Barrel changed
Uh-huh.
their logo and they got rid of the guy on it, right?
Uh-huh.
They felt as though the guy was racist, and I I I don't know what was racist about it. Okay,
I don't either.
and well, apparently it was he was a cracker, and then there was a barrel next to it, so that made some type of issue. There's been a
Oh,
lot of jokes going around about that. I would have never thought of that until the one-sided extreme would have said that out loud.
uh-huh.
Okay, so they went back to the old logo. Like I understand what they were trying to do. They had a new CEO come in, and she wanted to give it a modern look. Just doesn't work
Mhm.
for that place. Like leave it
No.
alone. I think literally, Cracker Barrel was saved by other dumb news this week. All right, now most recently in the news today, we're going outside of advertising. I know you didn't see this. Okay,
Okay.
I believe it was Great Adventure. Great
Mhm.
Adventure. Kid was walking on the monorail up high.
It was Hersheypark, and I
Okay.
did see it. It
Damn,
was
look at you.
Hersheypark, and I
Back
did see it.
checking right away. Yep.
Yeah, it
So
was
so at
Hersheypark.
which point of the parenting class did you fail? That apparently he got in before, was left alone, was standing there for 20 minutes before he decided to go and walk on the monorail. So not only does your kid not know that that's not wrong, not only did you lose your kid and didn't go looking for him, there's a lot of problems there. A lot of problems.
My question is, number one, where were the parents? Number two, how did the kid get up there? How did the kid get up there?
I
And
think
then,
they said he went in like a back way or something before it opened. Like it was really
oh,
weird. It was like, okay, how do you get in there?
okay.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
there's all the bystanders, right? And they're
yeah,
yelling, stop, they're yelling, go, whatever. And then the guy jumps on the roof of like a custard stand or
yeah,
something.
and
He
pulls the
jumps on
kid
the roof
down.
and he jumps up on the tracks himself. He could have been killed. He
Hmm.
could have been killed. You don't know what kind of electricity's going on there. I'll tell you what, if that was my child, I would have beat him within an inch of his life. And I
Oh,
will say that.
we don't say that anymore, Chris, because that is abusive. And the one side will sit there and say that you deserve to be put in jail. How dare you put your hands on a kid that came out of your vagina? Don't do that.
Well,
You
that
don't have
is
no
true.
right. Don't have
However,
that right. You don't have that right.
well,
You get,
so
that
they
old
say.
saying from the Cosby Show. I gave birth to you. I put you into this world. I can take you out. Doesn't
Mhm.
exist anymore. That's threatening.
However, I will say if that was my child never would have done anything like that because I would have had eyes on you the whole
Right.
time.
Eyes on you. I would have had one of those fake doggy telephone, old spoolie type of like
You'd have a
wristband
harness
leashes.
on the kid.
The
You'd put a
leash, yeah,
leash on the
right.
kid.
Right. I would have had a leash on the kid. Maybe
Nothing
even a
wrong with
shock
that.
collar. Right. But now we don't allow that today. Right. We don't allow that today. Okay. Next news. Ready? Okay. So apparently a interview came out with Snoop Dogg, and he was
Mhm.
talking about how he went to the movies in 2022 and
Mhm.
took his grandkid there, and it was a cartoon, and it was girl on girl kissing. And everybody's in an uproar. And before anybody says a word, okay? This is not about girl on girl, guy on guy, homosexuality, heterosexuality. It's not about that. Not about that at all. It's about when do you talk to your kids? Because if I'm taking I think he said his grandson was 3, 4, something
He
like
was
that.
young.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
young.
young. If I'm taking my 3 or 4-year-old kid, grandkid there, and I see a guy and a girl kissing, I'm going to feel awkward because that's not something I want to watch with my kids.
Mhm.
You name one person who watches anything sexual around their kids and doesn't get comfortable or doesn't get
Okay.
uncomfortable.
Okay. Can we clarify this real quick? First of
Sure.
all, the movie was from 2022. It was an animated movie, and I don't know if Snoop went and saw this in 2022 or maybe the kid was old enough just recently and it like they just happened to watch it in the last couple of weeks. But Snoop recently came out in the news, I think it was last week, and said he was not prepared because the grandson started asking questions because apparently in this movie, it is two women and they have a baby. And the kid was like, well, I don't understand. Or the grandchild was like, I don't understand. How can two women have a baby? Where's the dad? And he was not prepared to answer those questions because he didn't know that this was coming. I think maybe you should talk to your kids as soon as you know that they're old enough to comprehend the conversation. The
Yeah.
sooner the better, because it's very normal these days. Like, back when we
Well,
were
and
younger and
that's the
cool.
thing. Everything has shifted, right? Everything
Mhm,
has shifted in the world today. So everything that used to be in the middle is now either gone or to the right or to the left.
mhm.
And the whole point of why I'm doing this, why we're doing this, is because everybody's afraid to talk about the real stuff.
Right.
Why are we afraid to talk about the real stuff? This is why you have people who can't deal in reality. Let's talk about it. Okay. I have an opinion. Chris has got an opinion. Gia's got an opinion. The dude down the street's got an opinion. So what? Listen, my sister, who I love dearly, she's much, 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 much older than me. Like much older. 10
No,
years older.
she's not.
Yes, she's like 10 years older. So much older. She's like decrepit and frail, right?
She gonna kill
So
you.
she is when she hears this, I'm sure, because I'm going to make a clip and I'm going to send it to her. So,
Sorry, Paula.
right. So she is on one side of the spectrum politically than I am.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. I'm more in the middle. But she's on one side. That doesn't mean she's not my sister, people. It doesn't mean I don't like her. You know what it means? It means I try to avoid any deep hearted political conversation, just like a Thanksgiving dinner. I avoid that shit at all costs. Okay. And Paula, if you didn't realize I did that, I do. And it's done out of love. It's done out of love. This is the problem with today. Okay. Is I did it for years. And then finally I was like, okay,
Mhm,
what's bothering you about Trump today, Paula? And she tells me. And
mhm.
and listen, there was a point where she couldn't have that conversation with me without saying, fucking hate him. I fucking hate him. And now it's evened off and it's more like, well, he's done this. Like I can see why he would do that, and she does not support him at all. Not at all. Why can't we have conversations about stuff that is unheard of? So here we are. We're talking about Snoop Dogg, who took his kids, his
Mhm.
grandkids, right? Didn't like it, felt uncomfortable. When do you have that conversation with your kids? Because I'm not having it at 3 or 4. I'd like to have it somewhere between 6th and 7th grade, if I'm being honest.
Okay,
All right?
okay.
Because that's something I feel as though you build up to, right? Because
Right.
let's be fair, we went to Catholic school, so we had sex ed like on the bus in 5th grade, okay, by
Yeah.
the 8th graders. I mean, let's
Mhm.
be fair about it because 8th grade was getting their sex ed. They had the Miracle of Life. It was a whatever, a horrible video that
Honey,
they thought
honey,
people
it
did.
was chapter 12. Remember chapter 12?
No.
Chapter
Did I?
12,
Maybe I blacked out.
that
I was
was
like,
the
vagina.
chapter. Chapter 12 was the sex chapter. Yeah, you don't remember chapter 12? Everyone was
Mm-mm.
like, "Oh, chapter 12." Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember what grade we were in though. I think
I think it was like
6th, 7th,
7th or 8th.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, with the Snoop Dogg scenario, I think if a kid realizes and they can put two and two together and they see two women and two women are kissing and then there's a baby involved in that, if they're smart enough to pick up that something there is not right in the sense of a man and a woman have a kid, not two women. Like, how do two women have a baby? And that was the question the grandson was asking. I don't understand, how do two women have a baby? If they're picking up on that and they're asking those questions, have the conversation.
Yeah.
Some kids are going to, and it's going to be child dependent. Some kids are going to be younger. Some kids are going to be older. Some kids just don't care, like whatever.
Right.
But I think when they start asking the questions is when you should have the conversation, regardless of what age they are.
Right. And let's be
That's
fair
my
about
opinion.
it. Right. And
That's my opinion.
let's be fair about it too, right? Because it all starts in the house, which is completely fucking unheard of today. Because parents take no accountability for their kids
True.
anymore. It's not like what it was when we were growing up. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
God, no.
Again, I said it, but oh well. Oh well, it's the
Because-
school's responsibility or it's the church's responsibility. No, it's again, that kid came out of your vagina because you seeded it and it's your responsibility.
Because today the parents want to be the child's friend and not their parent. That's
Right.
where the problem starts.
Right. And that's, I mean, we could go down a whole demographic of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
of what 7th grade dances look like, not just what the kids are wearing, but what the parents
Mhm.
wear.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, if you sit there and you explain it, and I've had to explain it to my kids. It's because I explained it correctly to her. I didn't have bias. It's if you, love is who you love and who you want to love. I don't believe in anything. End of story. Right? There should be no hate about this. There should be no confusion. And Snoop Dogg did nothing wrong by saying, "How do I explain this to a 3 or 4 year old?"
That's all
Because
he was asking.
how do you explain it? And everybody's like, "Oh,
Right.
he's a hater." Yeah, the LGBTQ community came out after him. Like, why? Why? He's right. So maybe let's educate parents today. And
Yeah.
what's the best way to talk to our kids about it
Mhm.
instead of force feeding them, "Oh, I hate lesbians," or "I hate heterosexuals." Let's give them all the facts and start
Right.
there and
Right.
start there on common ground and peacefulness without an opinion one way or the other. Just
Right.
start with love. It's the
100%.
problem with this world today. Okay. Next one.
Okay.
We touched in on it on our weekend update, the mass shooting at church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now we made some light of it. We joked about a very serious situation.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. But the funny part about it is here we are once again in this country talking about gun control. I'm pro
Mhm.
guns. I
Mhm.
believe we have a right to have guns.
Mhm.
Okay. But do I think that the guns go in the wrong hands? Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like I think
Yeah.
drugs go in the wrong hands.
Mhm.
So, this is a tragic event that happened. Okay. And I don't care. Again, it's not about Catholic. It's not about Palestinian. It's not about Muslim. It's not about any other religion. It's about people were in a safe place. What the hell happened?
Yeah. Yeah. You get somebody who, based on what I've read, and the news is not always accurate, but based on what I've read, it
Our news
was
is accurate. Yeah. We're always
um
accurate.
they wondered, did the person, the shooter, have mental health issues? And my question is, what kind of background checks do you have to go through in order to get a gun license? I don't know, because I don't have a gun license, but I know people who do. Okay. And from what I understand, it used to be, whether or not it is now, I don't know. It used to be pretty hard. They would do like this whole big background check on you, and you had to provide all this evidence of, like, I've never been arrested and I don't have a record and all this stuff. I don't know what the protocol is today. And there are ways of getting guns illegally. When I was out in Wyoming, we went to a shooting range. I shot a gun. I was with an instructor. Of course, I think I'm a professional because I hit the target so well. Um, but there's, in no way, shape, or form am I do not have a license. I would consider getting one. Um, I don't know what the protocol is. I don't know what kind of background checks there are. Am I willing to go through them? Sure, if I want a gun license that badly. But I do think that there are ways that people do get firearms, not in a legal way, or maybe in a legal way. I don't know what this kid's background was. I don't know how he went and got the firearm. My overall question with that is, what prompted him to go in to a church where kids were praying and the doors were closed? They're minding their own business. They're saying their prayers. And he goes and starts shooting, killing 2 innocent kids and wounding 18 others. And then he kills himself. So what,
Well, that was
what
the
was
one good thing out of it.
what was that? What was that all about?
Yeah.
What was
I
that all
mean,
about? I don't
and,
even know.
and
What's the
here's the thing.
point?
And here's the thing. Okay. I can't stand the media today because the media
Uh-huh.
made it about a transgender, about a girl, about a guy. It's about a very sick individual.
Uh-huh.
Again, let's get educated. Sick individual. We've had these sick individuals throughout history. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I could start at Hitler, but there were many well before him.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So let's not pretend this is something new.
Right.
Okay. What's new is the domestic terrorism that's happening in our country.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And would I like to think if a legal abiding citizen had a gun, he could have stopped them. Yeah. But who takes their gun to church?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Church should be a
there
safe place for
it should be a
everybody.
safe place in every old movie, whatever it may be. Church was sanctuary. It was a safe place. You couldn't go in there. In the old days in the westerns, you could
Right.
go there and that was your sanctuary.
Right.
End of story. So I don't understand it. I just know it's a very sick, and let's just limit this storyline down, this headline down. A very sick individual walked in the church, killed 2 innocent kids who thought they were in a safe place, and then the best thing that happened that day is he killed himself. Okay? Because he ended his pain. Okay?
And that's
Which
exactly what it was.
which
His
I'm
pain.
sorry, this may be a bit controversial, but I'd rather, if you're that not well, you end your pain. Don't end everybody else around you.
Right.
So I have a problem with that. Your pain should not be everybody else's responsibility. Your triggers
Right.
are not everybody else's responsibility. I'm a big opponent of that.
Yeah. You
So
need to learn how to deal with it.
yeah, yeah, and that's the problem. Our coping skills today, people have been taught. Well, I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm going to do? I was listening to a story today where kids are more likely not to pay attention to teachers in school. Do
Uh-huh.
you know why? Because they've been taught by flipping through TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram that if something bores them, what do? Flip right up,
Mm-hmm.
just pass it along. So they get bored in school and they just flip it off. They're just done with it. So again, our society is being taught this. We need to kind of get back to old school with some
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree.
okay.
Churches
So
and schools should be your safe place.
they should
Churches
all
and schools.
churches and schools should be your safe place. Speaking about safe places,
Yes.
Washington D.C. has
Uh-huh.
been in the news the last couple of weeks because the president of the United States decided to send in the National Guard. He said crime rate was high. He goes, I want to end crime rate. Okay. Do I think it's extreme? I do. I think it's extreme. Do I think it's going to help? Yeah. I mean, listen, this is the best analogy, and you can think of anything on the internet. If you have a house infested with spiders and you burn down that house, there's no more spiders. So again, that's the extreme end of it, right? So now, Chris, reading an article, he's been talking for the last couple of weeks, going back and forth with the mayor of Chicago, saying
Yes.
that he's going to put the National Guard in Chicago. Now, I know that I've spoken to you and you've told me about the unsafe places, but then I also read that this weekend, as the mayor was sitting there saying that the president was out of his mind, okay, that again, I'm not arguing the National Guard because I do think that's extreme.
Mhm.
But don't pretend like there's not violence and crime in that city and it's not up. 54 murders just this weekend in Chicago. Labor Day
That's all.
weekend, 54. Yeah,
That's
I
all.
know. I actually thought that was a little bit of a low number, but for
Mm.
a weekend, for 3 days, yeah. They're not counting Monday, obviously with the long weekend.
Mm.
But Chris, is it safe? Is it any less safe than Philly? Is it any more safe than Philly?
My experience with the city of Chicago is that I have always felt very safe in the city,
Mhm.
but I've always felt very safe in New York City too. You know, I just um, people people say, oh, there's all these shootings, and yes, you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you're not in any kind of dodgy area, any kind of like drug infested, gang uh infested area where the violence is going to happen, right? So if
Mhm.
you stay in the I guess like the touristy areas, but like I said, I've been going to the city for well over 20 years. Not once have I ever felt unsafe. Um I've been there, morning, noon, night, doesn't matter. Um Me personally, I've always felt very safe. I've never had an issue. However, with that being said, the crime rate is bad. A lot of people are moving out of the city because of it. And it's going to happen in any city. I don't feel that it's any less or more safe than Philly or New York or any other city that I've been to. Um, but you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. I mean, I was in Philly. Joe and I were in Philly. I think it was last year. We walked out of a restaurant. We went and got cheesesteaks on South Street. And as we're walking, there's a guy in front of us, and he's literally going up to each and every car parked on South Street, trying to get the doors open, going up to each and every one. And I'm like, oh my God. And Joe grabbed my arm and he was like, back off a little bit. And we're watching the guy, and I'm like, okay, wow. I have not seen that in Chicago. I've seen it in Philly, clearly, but not in Chicago. But there have been places where, like a week after I was at a bar, I think it was like the weekend after my birthday or something, there was like a Starbucks or something around the corner, and somebody went in and they got mad because their coffee order wasn't right. Gun, boom, shot place up, whatever. And it ended up being like a block or two away from where I literally was. But I did not feel like I was in any kind of danger or jeopardy when I was down there. Now, going back to the National Guard, Johnson does not want the National Guard to, I swear to God, I will beat you. I swear to God.
Land the plane.
Going back to the National Guard, Johnson does not want the National Guard to come in because he doesn't feel the crime rate is that excessive. However, he does turn around and says that he wants the federal government to pay hotel bills where he is housing illegal immigrants.
Yeah, there's no give or take there. And also, he's the one who sat there. Didn't he pass he did. He's the one who passed the executive order, which I don't agree with. And this is the stuff that people throw out there. Oh, this person's going to create a civil war. This person's against democracy. He passed an executive order and said, you know what? My Chicago Police Department, they don't need to help federal officers, ICE, any of them. They could go.
I don't think it's a bad thing if they were to bring the National Guard in. Will it cut crime? Who knows? I don't know.
But
give it a shot.
My issue
Make
with that is
safe.
My issue is that that should be a brotherhood. So I'm not saying that if Chris, you're an ICE officer and you're going to arrest illegal immigrants, that I, as a Chicago PD officer, need to go help you. But if you get in trouble, I'm going to help you. I'm gonna make sure you get home to your family. Right. And that's not the way. Like, I'm taking it like it's every man for himself, and that's not America.
Yeah, and I kind of get that impression myself too. Right. Like, we're going to send the National Guard in, but they literally can't do anything. But all the people who are mad about this can throw things at them and hit them, but they can't protect themselves. That's my view on it. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. But that's just how I'm interpreting the information.
I think with all these stories, there's a lot of common sense, a lot of common ground, a lot of middle area that everybody, and I think that by just us sitting here in this podcast, here's the crazy part. I think by us talking about it in such a way where we're not picking a side, we just want peace, we want happiness, we want everybody to go home at night to their family, friends, dogs, birds, couch, whatever it may be. Okay. But at the end of the day, I feel as though this may be controversial, what we're saying.
Probably.
Because there are people who have strong opinions, which is great. You're entitled to your opinion. But that flow so far to the right or so far to the left. Like, enough is enough, people. Okay? And the news has got to get better. It's got to get better. This is just crap. So, Chris, tell me about one piece of news that you've read that you want to discuss.
Today or in general?
In general.
Oh God.
Feel like I'm missing something.
The Menendez brothers.
There you go.
Did we touch on that? No, we didn't.
Menendez just in
brothers,
the weekend update.
In the weekend update, right? Okay, so the Menendez brothers, they were up for parole. Some people think they should be released. Other people think that they should stay in jail. People have their mixed bag of emotions and opinions and thoughts about it. And, you look at it one way and it's like, okay, they killed their parents. And I don't know how much of this is actually known. But from what I've seen and what I've read, and I've, watched documentaries and the whole thing, I'm just utterly fascinated by this whole story, to be honest with you. One of the brothers, I don't know which one, they went in, they killed the father, they killed the mother. The mother was not dead. They reloaded the
I think,
gun. They
yeah.
reloaded the gun and they killed her. Okay. So where does that fall? Is that intentional? You know? Um, but then other people are like, well, they were being sexually abused by the father. The mother allegedly knew about it and did nothing about it to stop it. Okay. Well, then there's that side of it. So I guess it depends on what your opinion of the whole story is. And that's what's going to lead you to your opinion on whether or not they should be released. Now, I see it both ways. I can't really go one way or another with it. I just see both sides of the story and I'm like, okay, but I'm not on the jury. It's not up for me to decide.
So here's the thing, right? Because there's two schools of thought with this.
Hmm.
Obviously they killed their parents in cold
Hmm.
blood and
Hmm.
then went on a shopping spree. And then there's the other part where they were abused, they were mentally detached, they had mental issues, and that's why they did what they did. Basically
Hmm.
temporary insanity, right? People want to argue, well, it was a choice to go back and kill the mother the second time. People want to
Hmm.
sit there and argue, well, they were in pain and they were abused and they were this. And I get that, and that may be legit, right? But there are a lot of people in this world who do bad things
Hmm.
in bad moments of their lives and
Hmm.
can't come back to it and have to be punished. And sometimes it takes their whole life.
Hmm.
I think this is one case because, like, hey, you go upstairs, you kill one of your parents, and you say,
Hmm.
oh shit, I just really killed my father. I'm not going to kill my mother because that made me feel really bad.
Hmm.
Now, if you go and kill your mother, then that means you liked it the first time. So still a choice, and regardless of your mental illness, you have to pay the punishment for that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you
yeah,
do.
I
And some
just yeah,
people, but some people will also turn around and say, well, they've served 30 or 35 years, whatever, in prison.
has it been that long? 35 years?
It's been at least 30. When was this? 1997. It's been like 30 years, maybe 35. I don't know, but it's been decades, right? And then it comes out, oh well, they're up for parole only because the law changed, which allows them to now be up for parole because when it first happened, they were in for life and that was the end of that, right?
Yep.
And now the law changes, and so why is it why is it that they are in the spotlight for this? What about all the other criminals? What does the law change for them? Or is it just for the Menendez brothers? And then you're going to have people going, well, they served their time. Maybe they should be free. They should be up for parole. Okay. Other people are going, well, they killed their parents and they should be locked up for life. And that's the end of it. Okay, fine. I see both sides of the story. I really do. But in addition to that, it's also said that they have not exactly been the model prisoners.
And
Like
there you
there's
go.
things
And
going on
that's the
in
thing,
prison.
because I was going
Right.
to sit there and say, listen, if they've reformed and they're actually like, we don't know that because we're not there with them in prison.
Right. Right.
And that's the thing. So, you know what? Case closed. Have fun. See you next parole. Um, okay, Chris, I think we've talked about a lot here.
We did. We really banged out
Yeah,
a few crackers
I
there.
call that everything but the kitchen sink. All the
Yeah.
things. All the
Yeah.
things. All the things. We do all the things right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hey, and honestly, I think we both want to know what everybody thinks about talking about the real stuff, talking about what's going on. First of all, we all know everybody wants to talk current stuff. Nobody wants to talk about things that happened 10 years ago.
Right.
We want to talk about current stuff. We want to be current. We want you guys to hit that like button. We want you guys to comment. We want you guys to be participants in this because we're not looking for fame or fortune. We're actually just looking for someone to listen to us, bitch.
And I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your theories, whatever it is on all of these topics. And throw us some ideas if there's something that you want us to talk about because we will keep it real. We don't care. We'll
And
talk about it.
It's that, and it's also like, I think we need to start getting in the habit of talking, like, again, talking about these things, and
Hmm.
being able to go our separate ways and not have any heat towards that person for feeling that way.
Right.
I don't want that. Like I said, I don't want that for anybody. So, let's talk
Y-
about these things.
your opinions matter, and it's okay to have differing opinions with your friends, and you can still be friends. Like, just because you don't want to talk about it or you don't want to agree with it, and that's your prerogative, that's totally fine. But we're interested, we want to know what you guys think about this, because maybe there's some sort of angle that we aren't seeing that maybe you see very clearly, and we want to know, we want to know all the things.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
definitely comment
Yep.
by
Drop us
all
a
means.
line. We hope you guys enjoyed this. We tried to keep it short, like a car drive to work. So we hope we made your day a little bit thought provoking. And we hope that you have a great day and you remember who you are. Chris, this is where you say, you know what? I love every one of you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks, everybody. I love all my fans.
That was like the best 900 voice ever. All right.
God.
Peace.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace out.
Be
Thanks for
safe.
watching.
Thanks for listening to the show. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you next time on Three Friends and All the Things podcast. Real talk, real people. New episodes drop every week, so hit follow, leave a review, and tell your messiest friend to listen too. You know the one I'm talking about. Until next time, keep it real, keep it loud, and keep doing all the things.
Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. On my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? How to get to Sesame Street? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.